Hello everyone, so today I'm going to review my custom Tina Armstrong. Here she is. It's from the Dead or Alive 2 costume, that silver and black one from the Dreamcast version. Yeah, I like that game growing up, so here is my customized Tina Armstrong up close. So let's try to get a good angle going there. Here she is. So that's Tina's face. In the game she's blue-eyed and her hair is kind of parted in the middle, but you know, this head will do for the time being. I made her vest out of a face mask, and actually all the rest of her is out of a face mask, so in case you're wondering. That's it up close. I glued in some Velcro. I cut it in such a way to make it look like her Dead or Alive costume. So it's made of a face mask. Yeah, kind of reminds me of Macho Man's costume. I mean, one time the Macho Man kind of had those frills on his sleeves, but it was a jacket. This one, it's a tiny vest. The black cloth, these parts are like, I found it from a seller who was selling them. Doll clothes. These fit Barbies pretty well, or at least they're made for Barbies. But has a nice fit on her, snug but nice. So if you're wondering about the body, this is actually the body of my customized Lara Croft. But don't worry, I actually got it's a Jiaou busty European body. Actually I got another body, but I noticed this one's taller and a little bit taller. And you know, Tina Armstrong, based on the video game, she's like 5'9", whereas Lara's around 5'7", based on the, you know, the write-ups of those games. That's roughly, her height is like 5'8.5". So I swapped their bodies. So this is a Jiaou European body. So I think it's got around 20 points of articulation. You can swap the head around. It moves a lot. So this is kind of like a silicone rubbery skin, but the body is very posable. You can get her into a lot of cool poses if you want, as needed. There, she bends all over the place, knees, etc. As for her boots, it is also made of face mask, but I actually had some extra boots lying around, but they're actually both left boots. But you know, I just glued in this same material from a face mask, kind of put some tussles in it, and you know, wrapped it around the boots to make it look like Tina's Dead or Alive 2 costume. So that's Tina Armstrong. If you guys are wondering how tall she is, she's a 1/6 figure, so she's around 12 inches tall, give or take a few centimeters, you know, but she's 12 inches tall. And this is Lara Croft. So I made a review of my Lara Croft earlier, so I'm not sure if it's noticeable, but she's actually a little bit taller than Lara Croft. Her shoulder's a little bit higher. So let's have a look right over there. So this is actually the new body that I got. This was supposed to be my Tina Armstrong body, but it turns out my Angelina Jolie head matches the skin tone more. And I noticed that Tina, based on the video games, is and the posters, the many pictures and posters that you see of her, many pictures on Google, that she's actually seems lighter skinned than Lara. So switching the bodies seems like a good idea. So that's them together. So, you know, I did an earlier review of this Lara. So, but here she is. She's doing fine. I've updated her attire, so it's no longer a midriff. I sort of did some sewing to do this, but this used to be a Ken shirt, of course, made by a kind of like a homemade. There's this seller who sells these homemade doll clothes. I just did some customizations, chopped off the sleeves, and did some crude stitching to make it more body hugging. So enough of Lara. back to Tina Armstrong. There she is. So overall, I'm pretty glad with on how this turned out. I mean, yeah, I'm not the best costume maker, but it does the job. It looks close enough to Tina Armstrong. Now, growing up, one of my favorite female video game characters was Lara Croft, and second was Tina Armstrong. So it's pretty cool that I got to make custom figures of them. I don't know, there's something about Tina that was pretty cool. She had a lot of wrestling moves in Dead or Alive. Of course, she's pretty, and yeah, kind of had a video game crush on her. But yeah, she was pretty, could do wrestling moves. She reminded me of King, but you know, a lot easier on the eyes. King of Tekken. So this is the head that when I got the body, the seller threw in the head for free. And I was thinking, hey, it's blonde, looks close enough to Tina, though she doesn't really have bright blue eyes. This will do. But here's something cool about these Jiaou bodies. Swapping their heads is pretty easy. And well, if you guys watched the Dead or Alive movie, Tina Armstrong was portrayed by Jamie Presley, and she looks a lot like Margot Robbie. And I happen to have a Margot Robbie head. So I could always swap it out and give it this head, you know. If I sort of want to make her, I want to give her like to make her look more like the movie Tina with Jamie, since Jamie Presley looks a lot like Margot Robbie, this Margot Robbie head swap will do. So, you know, it's pretty cool. It's not so hard really to swap it out. So these Jiaou figures are pretty cool. Like there. This is my custom Tina Armstrong. So another quick 360 of the fig. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick backgrounder on Tina Armstrong. She's from the Dead or Alive video games, and this particular one is from the Dead or Alive 2 video game with this whole silver and black going on. She kind of reminds me of an Oakland Raider. But yeah, basically she is the token pro wrestler of the franchise. So all of her moves are pretty cool. She got Hurricanranas, tombstones. One of my favorite moves she does is, well, she's got that tiger suplex, but she also has this takedown, and then from the takedown she can try to do a giant swing. That was one of my favorite moves, and I used to use her. And she also got some shoulder blocks and some punches and drop kicks. So yeah, in the story, she is the daughter of Base Armstrong, and she's kind of using her pro wrestling status as a starting point for other endeavors, you know, like to be a model or to be a Hollywood actress. But you know, she's using being a pro wrestler as sort of a trampoline to bounce into that. You know, kind of like how Rock started off being a pro wrestler, he eventually became an actor. Tina kind of wants to be like that. She's just using her pro wrestling career as a starting point. At least that's like her background. Now here's a close-up of her face. As mentioned, I got this head free with that body that eventually became Lara Croft's new body, and not bad. I mean, Tina Armstrong's got bigger eyes that are really blue, and her hair is parted in the middle. But you know, this is good enough. Let's get a quick 360 of that hair. So yeah, it should be longer, and it's kind of layered differently, and it's parted in the middle. But for now, it'll do. This head kind of looks more like a less threatening Android 18 or a Targaryen, you know, because the hair is so pale blonde. She kind of, or almost platinum. She reminds me of a Targaryen. Anyways, yeah, that was a quick backgrounder on the Tina Armstrong character, and this is a quick 360-degree look of the figure. So let's start from the bottom. So as mentioned, I made those out of a face mask. Yeah. So at least it wasn't that expensive to make that costume. So it looks pretty cool. The figure's pretty cool too, this Jiaou figure. So as mentioned, it's the European large bust Jiaou. It's about 12 inches tall with the head, so it's pretty cool. So as mentioned, that's also the Tina Armstrong from Dead or Alive 2. So it's pretty, so yeah, that is my custom Tina Armstrong with a full 360 of it. And you know, it came out pretty good. I'm pretty glad that it wasn't so expensive to make the costume, since I just made it out of a face mask. And the cool thing about this is, if I find a better head, I could give her a better head. So, yeah. For now, this is her main head. So, as mentioned, growing up, if I had two favorite female video game characters, it has to be Lara Croft followed by Tina Armstrong, and I'm pretty glad that I was able to make nice representations of them right here with these Jiaou bodies. Yeah, so these are both Jiaou dolls. It's the European large bust bodies. As for the heads, I'm not sure of the brand of these heads, whether it's Gak Toys or Super Duck, but they are from China. But they're pretty cool. I was able to get them locally because they're from local sellers, so they weren't so expensive, and they were secondhand, the bodies. So yeah, I got a lot cheaper than they usually are, but it's pretty cool. Sometime in the future, though, I'd kind of like to create another custom favorite from my childhood, which would be, if you guys watch Mighty Max, I'd kind of like to make myself a Norman. So maybe eventually I'll get a male body and try to custom make my Norman. Maybe in the not too distant future, or maybe in distant future, but it's a plan. But anyways, overall, these figures are pretty cool. They're very posable. I've done some stop motion with my Lara Croft, so I'll probably be doing some every now and then of my Tina. And I'm really glad that the costume, came out pretty cheap, since it's made from a face mask. And face mask, some extra boots that I wrapped with said face mask. And as for the sort of bikini top, it was from a seller who kind of makes homemade doll clothes. So that's pretty cool. So overall, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the review. And yeah, these are two of my favorite female video game characters.